Hello, everyone, and welcome to our series In Conversation. I'm HPO Music Director Gemma, and today I'm joined by our HPO Principal Second Violin, Bethany Bergman, who on May 14th is our fantastic soloist for two performances of Vivaldi's Four Seasons. We have them at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. There's a matinee and an evening. Find the time that works best for you. We're at the FirstOntario Concert Hall, and we hope that you can join us. And to join our conversation, yes, Bethany, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat about your life, your career, and this wonderful piece, Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
Well, thank you, Gemma. I am so excited to play on May 14th. It's such a privilege to play with the orchestra, with my wonderful colleagues in Hamilton, in that beautiful hall, and to play such an extraordinary piece of music, one that everybody knows, but for some reason always seems fresh and just and invigorating and touching, and all of the things that we hope to get out of a musical experience.
Absolutely. And we're going to dive right into the piece very soon, but I wanted to talk a little bit about you because you have played in our orchestra as principal second violinist, and you've also played as soloist before. I still cherish the memory of you playing Vaughan Williams, The Lark Ascending at our intimate and immersive program. It was so divine, so beautiful, so heart-rendering. So thank you for that performance. And I know that the Vivaldi Four Seasons is also going to come to life with all of those amazing pictures that Vivaldi has. But could you tell us a little bit about your road as a musician first? We'd like to get to know you a bit more. How did you start off in the violin, and what has been your career path up to this point?
Well, so I am the youngest of 5 siblings who all play the violin. And funny story, that was not the intention of our parents. In fact, if music hadn't been offered in our public school, everyone take note, none of us would have become musicians or maybe even had music lessons. I just learned from my oldest sister, Roxanne, in fact, who was the very first one to take violin lessons, that she was waiting for a piano. And so she took violin in the meantime because the piano wasn't available yet. So, that she was choosing between the flute and the violin because it was offered in the school. So, when we were going to school, they had lessons in school. And it was a wonderful thing for a big family when you couldn't, maybe when you didn't have the resources or the knowledge, and every child got to learn to play an instrument. So I was lucky as the youngest because I got to start violin with my sister, Helene, who is the third sister. And she was my first teacher. And I still owe so much of the way I approach music to these early lessons with her. The imagination, everything had pictures and stories and life. Even holding my bow, my fingers were always raindrops or magical creatures, and the way we listened to music was always full of life and joy and all of the things that we hope to hear when we hear music.
Oh my gosh, that's so inspiring. And it's great that you have that family musicality and support there, and also the support of the school. And the HPO, we love to go to the schools in the Hamilton region and share music. And we thank you for also giving music to our young people in Hamilton. And now, it's the wonderful circle of, and why we do music is to share that joy and to express our creativity. And so you were learning the violin from a young age, and did you just know that it would be forever the path for you?
No, it was just something that we did. And in fact, when I went to study violin, I was very lucky. I went to a wonderful school. I went to Bloomington, for my undergraduate degree, but I actually have a double major in English and violin because I wanted to make sure I was, wasn't quite sure if that was really what I was going to do, or I had a backup. My parents didn't even know that music was a thing you could do for a career, even though I was the youngest. So it wasn't clear, maybe until I was in 11th grade or 12th grade, when I first played. I was in the youth symphony. I played in Carnegie Hall in New York, and I still remember standing on the stage. I remember actually Sibelius's Second Symphony was the piece. Me go, oh, I could do this. This is beautiful. So I was very fortunate. I had a wonderful undergraduate experience, and then I went to Europe for the next 4 years. I lived in Germany. I studied in Munich and in Berlin, and that was a very rich experience for me. I met lots of people. I got to play with so many orchestras, the Radio Symphony in Berlin, and in Munich, the Chamber Orchestra, and then I met a teacher from Toronto when I was doing a chamber music course in England, in Prussia Cove, England. And he said, why don't you come and study with me in Canada? And I hadn't thought about it. So I did. I just spontaneously went and studied to Canada, and decided this was the best of all worlds, possible worlds in Canada. It felt like home.
Uh-huh. Well, we're very fortunate to have you at the HPO and that you've made Hamilton your home. And we've very much enjoyed your solo Bach, and you played a piece by Vincent Ho in the fall of last season. And Bach being a contemporary of Vivaldi, and you've got this wealth of experience in Germany and Europe. And I just wondered, what has been your journey with Vivaldi's Four Seasons?
Well, it's fun because the Four Seasons is something that you sort of hear all the time. And so when I was given the opportunity to play, I thought, oh no, everyone's heard this so often. How do I play this? He doesn't paint the picture for you. He gives you this sketch and you fill it in as you see. How much snow is there in winter? And how cold is the wind? And what do the birds really sound like? And are they young? Is it morning? All of these things are things that the soloist and the orchestra can fill in themselves. And I think that's the exquisiteness of this piece, is that it never gets tired somehow. And it's something that we can all relate to, the change of the seasons, the feelings we have during those seasons, and just the beauty of the violin and those string instruments.
Yes, definitely. I love the imagery that you shared. And it's funny because a lot of pieces you say, well, they stand the test of time. And yet the Vivaldi Four Seasons was lost for 200 years. And then suddenly at the start of the recording era in the 1950s, it was rediscovered. And now, as you said, we hear it everywhere. And what is so captivating about it is how relatable these pictures, these atmospheres are to us, and how much life he brings through the music, how many characters there are and scenes or, dramatic events. And as you said, the snow and all of this. So I wonder if you could take us through a walk through the Four Seasons from your perspective.
Well, I think that this spring, when the birds come out, we all know this first day that we hear the birds. And so we have this beautiful bird song and a sleeping shepherd, and then we have a dance. You can really feel heat, the violent weather, as he puts it, this excitement that happens in the summer, but also the laziness and all the contrasts. And in autumn, when we have this wonderful dance, and maybe they get a little out of control in the first movement and they get a little bit drunk, and he portrays this so beautifully, just using the instrument to show us you know, the falling down or the not being able to stay steady on your feet. And then there's the hunt, which is of course extremely exciting, and then winter, which for many is really the most evocative, in that you really feel things like chattering teeth and stomping feet and wind swirling, and then at the end all of the winds come together, and you're just so cold and you're just trying to get out of it. So for me, this is really, it sort of encapsulates all of these things about the seasons that we experience, all of us collectively, no matter who we are.
That's brilliant. Thank you for that journey. And also we have a wonderful guest conductor joining us, Patrick Dupre Quigley, who is a Baroque specialist in many ways. And so I'm sure he will bring that style with the orchestra, and it will all sound so harmonious and glorious. I can't wait for this concert. And thank you, Bethany, for giving us these insights into the music and into your life path up to our Vivaldi Four Seasons. We can't wait, and thank you for being our soloist for this concert.
Well, thank you. And it's such a pleasure to see you, of course, virtually. And I can't wait. I'm really excited, and it will be a lot of fun.
Get your tickets. We'll see you there.